I'm just going to get straight into it. My first one is going to be to do past papers because they're going to be your new best friend. My mom was trying to get this concept into my head. I did not get it until very late, but thank God that I did well. But past papers are honestly just something that you need to be implementing from the get-go because they are just exams that have been sat previously. And so it literally just gives you a great idea of what your exams are going to be like and what type of questions you're going to get as well, and help you to get used to answering exam questions and exam technique and actually understanding what they're trying to tell you, because that's another thing. You need to make sure that when you're reading the questions, you're actually answering what they're asking you and not what you think they're asking you. But my absolute top tip for past papers is to do one the night before every single exam. This was an absolute game changer for me, but particularly because there was no exam that I had where I did a past paper the night before and it looked completely new to me. Like, there will always be questions that are repeated. The wording will just be slightly different. And I think it's such a game changer for you to do questions. I remember when I did a biology past paper the night before, I was doing something on osmosis and potatoes, and then that came out in the real exam as well. So it's very, very likely that you will get a question that you did in your past paper the night before or whatever time ago it was that will be in your new exam. None of the questions are really fresh, they're just reworded in a different way. So if you look for that, if you're consistent with your past papers, then doing your exams should be a breeze. It should not feel so difficult because you've already answered those questions before and you already are familiar with the exam and the exam technique. My second one would be to work out what works best for you, because not everyone absorbs information in the same way or at the same time. So this is dependent on whether you are a morning or a night person. This is also dependent on the different revision techniques that you use and what helps you to remember information best. For me, I would say that I really find flashcards very helpful. Even just the act of writing down what I need to remember on a flashcard already helps to sort of imprint it into my brain so that I already have like a slight idea of what I'm revising. And even just that writing it out helps me with retention. But I'd say that my top tip for this one is that when you are testing yourself on your flashcards, I would definitely recommend that you do it with a friend. I think that's so key. And I remember doing, I think it was like biology flashcards with my friend in form before the biology exam. And I hadn't revised one particular part and she was asking me to test her. But in that process, I actually remembered what they were and it came out on the exam and I could answer it correctly. So maybe that even helps you with an area of revision that you didn't properly do, but your friend has it. It's very good to test them, not only testing yourself, but even just testing someone else. And that act of regurgitating what you've been taught, and it helps your brain to almost subconsciously remember without you even trying. So without me even trying to remember what she wrote, I remembered it and I was able to answer the question properly in the exam, which was so good. It was amazing, actually. I was surprised that I had remembered that. But yes, definitely find out anything else that works for you. Spaced repetition is very good to make sure that you never forget and you are revisiting your topics every every few days so that you never forget. Lots of people do other things as well. Blurting is very good if you want to, after a lesson maybe, or after you've watched a video, write down all the things you remember and then add on the things you didn't remember. Yeah, just find out what works for you because different things work for people. But I think the main one would be to do past papers, obviously. My third one is called what you see is what you get. So you have to visualize success. And I think I remember saying this in another one of my videos. I put it up here, but it's all about believing that you're going to do well and believing that you can do and you will. Because I literally have testimonies of people who were so afraid that they were going to fail, or they were already calculating in their head and thinking that they were going to fail. They were thinking, oh, it's okay if I could fail because I can reset it in this way. Oh, it's going to be okay. Already thinking that they're going to fail instead of preparing themselves to, smash the exam and to do well and pass. And those people ended up failing the exam that they thought they were going to fail. And so that just puts a lot of emphasis into not only believing in yourself, but then not dwelling on that too much, not dwelling on, oh, I don't think I'm going to do good. My, principle that I stick by is if you've done the revision and you've done everything that you need to do, then there should be no reason why you're afraid or why you're anxious. And a lot of people were on results day and I was fine. And I knew that I was going to do well and I did do well, thank God. But It's all about just believing in yourself and believing that what you've done is enough. To prevent that fearful feeling, you have to, do the work that you're going to do, sacrifice some things that may come after the exam, because it's all for your benefit at the end of the day. My fourth one would be to cultivate a healthy lifestyle. Now, this is something that I subconsciously did, but I do feel like it impacted the way that I was able to successfully complete all of my exams. I was eating healthily. I was exercising frequently as well. I have another testimony that after my geography exam, I was feeling very, very tired and very low energy. It went very, very well. It went perfect, but I was just really tired. And I thought, let me just do some exercise. I haven't done exercise in a while. I did it, 30-minute one, and then I felt like literally amazing after that. I had all my energy back. So that was definitely like the start of me, getting on my grind in terms of exercising. But obviously it's just good for your, holistic health and well-being to be exercising and to be eating well, not so many, processed food and snacks, but like actual real whole food. I feel like it's an underrated thing, but it can really help with your cognition as well and your brain functioning. You're eating well, you're exercising, you're sleeping well as well, and you're just functioning at your body's optimum, which is what you need when you're sitting exams. My fifth and final one is that if you are eligible for exam concessions, or you think you may need some and you don't have them yet, I would definitely urge you to go and get them and ask for them. That's something that I had to do. If you're not diagnosed with something like me, when I wasn't diagnosed with ADHD, it became very apparent that I was struggling with my time management and writing in the time given. Always keep bringing it up to your teachers. Keep bringing it up. If they need like test evidence, ask them to do tests. Don't just let your teacher say, oh, well, we haven't seen, or your SEND department say, oh, we haven't seen your teacher's report about anything, because that's a problem that I went through, that you really need to just tell them what you struggle with. Oh, I will need this. I think this will help me with my exam. It's clear that I write slowly, things like that. Make sure that you vocalize what you need, because it makes all the difference if you push for them. And I remember I was sitting my drama exam, and the time for people who didn't have extra time was up. And they said, okay, time's up. And I was still writing. And that was my first time using extra time. And I looked up and I was surprised, because I was like, if this is the time that I were to be finishing and I did not have extra time, like that would be very, very shocking. Like I was shocked. And, it's a big blessing to have that extra time for me to write, at the speed that I write. And so it's very, very important, because it can make all the difference. And also I'd say if you are entitled to extra time or any of the concessions, please make sure that you use them properly, because I saw people who were leaving the exam in their extra time. Please make sure that you just use it all up. You can be checking again and you can go through mistakes that you didn't even know that you made. It's very, very important. And I think that it will benefit you a lot for just staying and, going over the exam however many times you need to. My sixth and final one, which I think is most important, is always refer to the specification, because the specification tells you what you're going to be tested on. And so it's not everything that you need to cram inside your head. Just make sure that you're 100% confident with the content that you're going to be tested on. Always read through your specifications, always read through what you're going to be tested on, because it's so important. There are key case studies, key equations and stuff that you need to know, practicals and science. It's all there in the specification. When you have your exam board, you can go to the website and find the specification there. It is so important that you actually know what you're learning and that you understand that well. That's like the first and foremost thing. So I really hope that this video helped you if you're going into year 11. I hope that you now understand the most important things to do. And if you have any more questions about year 11, I will be more than happy to answer them in the comments. If you have any other video ideas that you'd like me to do or topics that you'd like me to discuss, I'd also really appreciate that if you want to put those in the comments or DM me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you want to watch any more which are on the tips for going into different years of school, then I have the playlist here and in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Amarachi. Keep chatting. Bye.